Good afternoon. Today is September 29th, 2022. And I know you're all excited and you're all wondering what's going to happen. And it's all really confusing. And the forecasts and the models are changing hourly right now. So we're going to have to kind of try and piece this together the best we can and just go on my best guess. Overnight hours last night, we had some long duration flares. They were also CMEs. So you can see there was CMEs all day yesterday. There was like 5 or 6 of them. And then we had solar flares last night. Okay. Popping over here, here's that 3110 as it erupted. This is a gorgeous view of this. Look at all that eruption. You can almost see the magnetic reconnection there. Here is a view of the eruption that took off from the lower outgoing area. It's just absolutely glorious. Beautiful, beautiful. And here I want to pay a little attention to the incoming southern region. And as I put this into motion, pay right attention to the very first few minutes. You can see that pop and that way the filament raced around there. And we've got some really big roping filaments right across this region. And I think some of those may let go. And this is going to move really quick, but you can kind of see some of the popping up over here, some down here, some over here. It's just really active. Ooh, there was some down there that we missed. There's one I missed. Let me play that again. Yeah, right down here was where some of our flaring was happening. Let's play that again. So some of this is not happening right at the sunspots. Some of it is happening in spots you aren't thinking about. Okay, I was looking at Soho last night, and we did have a solar flare. And what I want to, I stopped it right here on this. This is a view of the CME that is going to hit from last night. And as I go into this, I'm going to back it up a little bit. Into the 20, here's 28th. Let's go back. Oh, it's going to freeze up on me. Okay, here's the 28th. We're going through the 28th. There was a little eruption. And whenever you see the staticky stuff, okay, here is something coming at us. I know it's really hard to see, but you can begin to see motion all the way around here. There's something moving all the way around the disc here. There, you can see it right there. See how you can see the motion right there. There's just a real fine grain there of wind leaving. Okay, there, right here. We've got activity going here. It's almost a full halo. Not quite a full halo, but it's close. As I toggle it, you can sort of see it right here. It's down here. It's coming right around here. And maybe a blast this way. And then right here. And this is what you're going to want to know. This is probably going to hit the night of the 2nd or going into the evening of the 2nd. This is going to be fast. It's going to be quick. If we get unlucky, it may hit during the day. If we get unlucky. If it's moving really fast, it may hit the early morning hours of the 2nd. It may move faster than I think. I think this is going to be moving fast. It is going to be a sudden onset spike. And it isn't going to last more than an hour. It's going to be fast and it's going to be quick. And if you're not sitting out there, you're going to miss it. So knowing that we have this coming, this is going to be the storm that you want to wait for. So the first into the second, and the night of the second into the third, you're going to want to gut it out. You're going to want to sit and wait for it. Don't give up and go in just because it's cold and it's boring and it's 3 a.m. and you're tired. Because as soon as you do, that's when it's going to hit. Wait for the big one, because this one is going to be fast and it's going to be bright, and it may peak us up over a KP6. I don't know, but it's big. This one tells me I'm going to at least see a KP6, maybe a KP7 out of it. Maybe. And if we've got solar wind in front of it that's moving slow, it's going to pick it up and make it bigger. So you want to wait for this one, and we're going to hope in God and pray that this does not hit during the day. It came out at about 3 a.m. in the morning on the 29th. So we're hoping and praying this hits at the right time, that it hits during the night on either the 1st or the 2nd. So those 2 nights, you don't want to go in. You want to wait for it, because I think this one's going to be a good one. And we'll have to see for the rest of the day. I'll keep eyes on it, and I will make other forecasts if I think there's something there to. I'm going to make note that we have a magnetic load. So if that flare was moving fast enough that the light from the flare hit us, this is a sudden onset. We took a magnetic load here at the phi angle. And this would have reasonable amount of time that this could have been that. When you see the phi angle flipping and getting broken and going north to south, north to south, north to south, that's a reasonable assumption that we're taking a magnetic load and we're having a sudden onset of a storm. And looking below, down here at the yellow, you'll notice the wind speed all of a sudden jumped up. That we had a sudden start of a storm. Forecast right now, it's all over the place. Your long-term forecast is not agreeing with your short-term forecast, and they keep changing it every day. My gut says this is the closest to right as I've seen. It's going to start on the 30th. It's going to, about just before dark, it's going to ramp up. It's going to run all day, and it's going to run into the 1st, possibly into the 2nd, and depending on what we get today, possibly into the 3rd, 4th, and so on, if it keeps going. We have that terribly active region that is 3111 that keeps producing good flares. That is going to be coming earth facing, and as long as that is kicking, I don't think we're going to slow down that much. We still could stay up elevated if that is to continuing to burst activity. And below that, there is 3 gigantic filaments sitting there. They're not a sunspot, but those gigantic ropes are sitting there. And if those are disturbed magnetically in any way, those could produce a monster CME. So you want to keep eyes on those. And pray for a little bit of geomagnetic disturbance to lift them off the sun. Smoke report. We're light smoke right about maybe brushing a little bit of Minnesota, the Dakotas. Not going to be much of a problem thanks to the hurricanes that have pushed it all. Discussing our hurricane and weather activity. We have a weather system out to our west, one off to our southeast. The hurricane is now sitting out over the ocean, just off from the shore of Jacksonville, Florida. That they're predicting it's not going to pick up speed, and it won't get much stronger before it makes landfall again. And I'm kind of saying, horse pucky, we have geomagnetic load going on. And we have electromagnetic energy from the sun happening, and it's very possible it could reform that hurricane up a little bit. So I don't think it's going to be as tame as what they think it will be. That is going to curve and go back inland, and it will come up over the Carolinas and up headed toward the Ohio, bottom of Ohio. That is going to create a pinching type of activity between the system in the west and the system coming up from the southeast. And that's going to kind of push the clouds out away from Michigan and bring them in over Minnesota and Wisconsin. So Minnesota and Wisconsin, you're going to be partly cloudy for most of this. And Michigan, you're going to be a little bit clearer, but we're still going to have a few clouds. So we're going to have to dodge clouds. That means you're going to have to get out your goes. And this particular map is the NOAA Maps Argus.com. But I use the GOES 16 when I want to really dig into things, or use the Weather Channel actually is very good if you use the radar and clouds and put it in motion. It's pretty good at finding the holes in the clouds. So the Weather Channel is fairly good at that. Just don't listen to their wind speeds. Another app I use that I do like is I use Windsurfer. And let me show you this real quick, and Windfinder. And Windfinder is pretty good at finding, and let me get it. Let me see if I can back it up here and bring it back down over the Great Lakes region. Here we are. It's not showing precipitation, but the nice thing about this is I can take it clear out here and say, okay, I want to see I know on Wednesday the 5th we're going to deal with some clouds and precipitation, but most of this is showing pretty clear for most of us for the precipitation. Doesn't mean it's going to be clear for the cloud cover, but it means it's going to be pretty clear for any of the rain. That means now I go dig into GOES and Weather Channel and I look at the cloud cover. But this tells me, and also gives me a nice wind map, and it tells me where the winds are blowing, and that sometimes gives me an idea of what direction those clouds are moving, which is important when you're looking for holes in the clouds, to know the direction your wind is moving and whether it's going to shift. So the nice thing is about this is I can look and I can go, okay, I know today that wind is going to turn around and it's going to start moving in a different direction, and those clouds are going to move. And I have an accurate idea of what the winds are doing. So Windfinder is a wonderful app to use, and I highly recommend them. So I'm going to leave you with that. That's what I've got. I will update this if I see anything further that I think we need to be looking at, and that will give you more information. So you are going to want to watch the videos. Dedicatedly watch the videos, because I will be having more information. Talk to you.